Sarah from the upcoming, an absolute honour to meet you. Obviously, presenting Dame Joan Collins with this Lifetime Achievement Award today. Why is it still so important to recognise and celebrate women's achievements? And why is Joan such a trailblazer in the industry?
Well, Joan, yes, rose to stardom at a time when it really was a man's, every producer, every director, every casting agent, every agent was a man, and she steamed ahead with her dignity and intact. She was never coerced or bullied. She never allowed herself to be mistreated. She held her head high, and she survived and she battled. But she also was a proud woman. She was not a feminist in the political sense, but she was a beacon to feminism because of her, single-mindedness and her, what she proved a woman could do. That needs recognition, and women still need recognition because film and television are always reflections of how society looks at itself. And society still looks at women in a very different way to the way it looks at men. Women are cute and sweet for a while, and then suddenly they're mothers. And then they're allowed to be grand dames like Helen Mirren or, Judi Dench or something. But in between, they have a difficult time that men don't have. Young men, they're in their 30s and their 40s, are still action heroes, are still doing whatever they like. They don't have that. And so, we need to remind ourselves that women do have a tougher time with it. And they need that support. They need to tell their stories more. They need more women directors, more women screenwriters as well.
And in which ways do you think it has improved, and which things do you think still need to change, and what you see as kind of an ally, I guess, of women in the industry?
Well, I think it's improved enormously. There's no question about that. I mean, there are far more women directors and far more women executives in television and film, running studios and running channels than there ever have been, and that's a very good thing. But I still think it is that point about the stories that are told, and about how women are perceived, and that needs to change and is changing. And I think we're very aware of this idea of toxic masculinity and the way males have to face up to how we look at ourselves as men, and I think that's a lot to do with it.
And what's been some of your highlights over the last year, and what have you got left on your bucket list? I don't know, you must have your pick of projects, but is there anything left that you haven't done?
Oh, just to continue to have fun, enjoy myself. I don't really have landmarks or things to aim at particularly, but highlight is the play I'm in at the moment. I'm playing Lady Bracknell in The Importance of Being Earnest on the West End stage every night, and that's enormous fun, and that goes on till the 10th of January, though I'm not advertising it because we're pretty much sold out, I'm afraid. So there's that side of it, and obviously her incredible years as Alexis Carrington and Dynasty. But then when you know her, she's just such an extraordinary dignity and speech about, she doesn't take things gladly, but not unkind, but she has. She's always had her own mind, her own drive, her own, and she's an example of a certain generation in which women can look with immense pride because they didn't take no for an answer. They weren't abused or, didn't allow themselves to get exploited and manipulated. Strong personality. But at the same time, she believed in femininity with a big capital S and style and dress. She would never dress down, in the way that some younger actors are quite happy to be seen in jeans or whatever. She would never do that. So she's kind of like a different style, but nonetheless incredibly strong example of what a woman can do in a man's role. So it's perfect for this event. In some ways, the one I would say most is Sonia Friedman, who is the most successful theatre director in the world at the moment. What she does in theatre is phenomenal. She does things that are hugely popular and successful, like Book of Mormon and Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. She just opened on Sunday, Paddington. So, huge, really big family, everyone comes from out of town, and coach parties, But she also has done incredible dramas of extraordinary importance, and things like The Inheritance, a 2-evening play of incredible power about AIDS, which might not appeal to everybody at first, but everyone went to see it blown away. She did Tom Stoppard's Leopoldville, Leopoldstadt, his last great play. So she is, I think she ought to be better now. She ought to be Dame Sonia Friedman. She is a force of incredible power, and she's a wonderful person. So, and she's produced a play at the moment. So that's why she's the biggest influence on me this year, I would say.